Here we have a 2020 model BMW 320. It's fitted with a 2-litre petrol engine and it's done roughly 32,000 miles. As part of the service on this car today, we're going to be changing the engine oil and filter. The oil filter is underneath this cover, which you should be able to just pull off. It's just like a ball and socket arrangement. Yeah, you've got your rubber sockets there and these pegs sticking up. So that just pulls off. Oil filter is located here. It's in a plastic housing with a hex nut shaped top. So we'll go ahead and do the filter first, I think. So here I've got a 27mm single hex socket on an extension bar with a ratchet. I like to try and do the oil filter first on most engines because when you take it out, it allows any oil in there to drain down into the sump. Just lets a bit of air back into the filter housing by removing the top and breaking the seal. Grab a bit of blue roll. There we have it. Right, I'll tip out any excess oil and we'll transfer this over to the vise and change the filter and the seal. So this should just pull out of the housing. Just pull out. Oh, there we go. Bit of oil splattered everywhere. Mind you, it's hardly pristine in here. And we've got an O-ring seal on here. The new filter should come with a seal and sometimes with a sump plug washer. Yeah, it looks like it has. As you can see, it's not a genuine BMW filter. Actually, I've done that wrong because it has the little peg here, we need to locate that into the housing on the car engine rather than putting that on there first. So the seal just goes back in the groove. That's it. We'll go back over to the engine and get this put back together. Right, you can see down there in the housing where the filter goes, the hole for the peg on the filter. If you're standing at the front of the car facing it, it's around about the 11 o'clock position. So we need to locate that in that hole. And there it goes. Just put a little bit of oil around that seal. Although there's generally enough oil left in the housing where it's only just come apart. Another good tip actually is, I do with most, well with all oil changes, is to remove the oil filler cap and pull the dipstick if it's got one. I don't think this vehicle has. It just allows air in, as I was explaining earlier. When you lift this up, it allows air in there and allows the oil to drain down into the sump a bit easier. Most of these have a tightening torque on the top. That looks like 25 Newton meters, and if you've got a torque wrench to hand, that's great. Otherwise, you just got to be sensible because it is only plastic. Lovely. Next we'll take it up in the air and drop the oil out. Now, as you can see underneath this car, like most cars nowadays, you can't really see a great deal of the engine. It's just covers, plastic trays. Hopefully we can remove this to access the sump plug. Yeah, look at that, just right. Obviously, to do a better inspection of all the components, really need to take these trays off, which isn't actually too bad. Just a load of 10mm bolts. But today we're just going to drain the oil out using that plug. Now the sump plug or sump bung on this vehicle is a 17mm head size. I prefer to use a single hex socket where I can. It just gives you a little bit better purchase on the bolt and hopefully reduces the chances of rounding it off. Nothing wrong with using a spanner, of course. That's just my choice. I think I'm going to put a glove on for this actually because it's pointing straight down, so you can imagine that's going to go all over my hand. The engine's not hot on this one, it's quite cold, so hopefully the oil won't spray out everywhere. It'll come out a bit slower because it's a bit thicker. But get your drainer ready to catch it anyway. Not too messy. Right, I shall place that down there and leave it to do its thing. Right, now as this one came with a new sump plug washer with the filter, obviously I'm going to change it. They're usually good to go several times though, you just got to make sure they haven't been crushed or split or anything silly. I mean, that doesn't look bad, but yeah, clearly I'll put the new one on. It's slowed down to a steady drip. It's been dripping for quite a long time now, and I'm sure it would continue to drip the rest of the day if I left it. But I'm happy that we've got out what we need to get out. Again, I'm sure you'll find a tightening torque for this online somewhere if you've got a torque wrench handy, but just nip it up. Always like to double check these once I've run the car up and it's got warm and been on a road test, make sure there's no leaks. So we'll be double checking that later. I'll pop that back in now so I don't lose it. Next we'll drop the ramp down and get some oil in the engine. Now usually I'd say make sure the dipstick is pulled, so as you're pouring oil in the air can escape from the engine, but there's no dipstick on this engine by the looks of it. I think you have to check the level via the dashboard. So I'm just going to keep a close eye on that and hopefully it doesn't glug back up through the filler. And when I went to the motor factors for the oil and the filter, as long as you take your registration number wherever you go, they should be able to recommend several different brands and correct oil for your particular engine. They recommended 5.25 litres for this particular engine. I'm going to go with 5 litres first and then run it up and see how we get on. It's just far easier to top it up in little dribs and drabs rather than put the 5.25 in and then find actually it's too much and you've got to try and drain a little bit off. Should be able to get oil and a filter for roughly, well, I'll say 60 to 70 pounds. The oil's not particularly cheap. Filter should be under £10. I know this looks a bit dusty. It is clean on the inside. I have cleaned them out. Just didn't wipe the outside of them. Right, so I'll go ahead and fire that up. Don't need to rev it or anything like that. It's not actually a good idea to rev an engine that's just been started, particularly if it's been drained and refilled of engine oil, because it can take a little while for the pump to pick it up and start circulating. And that's all I'm going to do. That all sounds good. That's long enough. So we'll just leave that now and let that settle for a while. And I'll work out how to check the level on the dashboard and we'll come back and show you that. Right, we're inside the car. As I said earlier, no dipstick on the engine, so you have to check the engine oil level through this media display in the centre here. So you can see on here it's highlighted above over car. You just do that by twisting this wheel, then click on it to confirm. We've got vehicle status, which we'll click on, and you can see it's saying that the engine oil level is okay, but I'd like to measure it just to make sure, you know, we're as close to the maximum as possible without going over it. Got a couple of messages there. I think that's just the, bonnet's open and the door's open. So there is a back button here as well, so you can go backwards and forwards through the menu. So we go to the engine oil level. Engine oil level okay, engine oil level measurement. Click on that. The engine has to be at operating temperature, as you can see there, before it will allow you to measure it. So it looks like we're going to have to wait a little while just to check the level, which is a bit of a pain. Obviously a dipstick's a lot quicker. So I had to start the car up because, as it said, you can't. It won't let you check the level until it was at operating temperature. Probably could have taken it round the block for a little road test, which I will do later anyway. I'd just like to make sure it's good before we take it out on the road. Ah, look at that, brilliant. So it is on the maximum. And that was 5 litres, not the 5.25 that was recommended. I believe that's bang on maximum. It's a little difficult to say, but it must be. It's a shame, well, maybe it's up to the little line, a bit like the minimum one. So we won't be adding any more oil to that. yeah, and you can just come out of the menu again by pressing the back button down here. You can check all your other bits there, your tyre pressures and such. All done. I've got the cover to go back on. That's secure, oil filter housing secure. Right, all that's left to do now is to give this a road test, and I will double check the oil filter housing and sump plug for any leaks.